As I'm sure you all know, she went on, your teacher has a special interest in ancient Egypt. We knew that all right. Mummies and sphinxes and pyramids were scattered all over the classroom. And for the past month, everything had been Egypt this and Egypt that, which I was glad about. My last year's teacher had been nuts about ye olden prairie days. This would have been okay, except she only liked inside stuff. Making bonnets and cooking Johnny cakes. I wanted to do some ye olden prairie days outside stuff, like lassoing buffalo and digging for gold and catching outlaws drinking beer in saloons. But my last year's teacher said nope. It was bonnets and Johnny cakes and sitting in your seat all day. Besides, she said, all that other stuff was from ye olden Wild West days. Just remembering how boring last year was practically made me fall asleep. But I didn't, because I wanted to know what the good news was. When I learned that this year's Adventures for Teachers program was an archaeological dig in Egypt, the principal continued, I nominated your teacher. Mrs. Rice looked proud of herself, but I didn't see what was so great yet. And I am delighted to tell you that over the weekend, we learned Mr. Damaz is a finalist. When Principal Rice said our teacher's name, all the kids sucked in their breath at the same time. This is because Damaz is almost a swear. Actually, it's almost two swears. If you say the first part wrong, it could sound like a word that also means a wall that holds back water. If you say the second part wrong, it could sound like a word that also means a donkey. But no one would think you meant those words. On the first day of school, I was trying so hard not to make a mistake with either part of his name that I made a mistake about both parts. I am not even kidding about that. At recess, I apologized and explained that I only said his name wrong because I was so worried about saying his name wrong. Mr. Damaz said he understood, and besides, it was bound to happen one day. But since then, all the kids just call him Teacher. We aren't taking any chances. I guess Mrs. Rice didn't care about making a mistake. She probably thought, so what if I get sent to the principal's office? I live there. Mr. Damaz will be leaving after lunch today. He'll spend the week with the Adventures for Teachers Committee, but we'll see him again on Friday at the State House. There'll be a ceremony there to name the winning teacher, and we're invited. Then, if he's chosen, Mr. Damaz will fly off to Egypt for the big adventure. We all sucked in our breath again when she said his name, and so I almost missed what she said next. But I heard it. Which means he will be gone for the rest of the year. Mrs. Rice went on talking, but my ears were so full of gone for the rest of the year that I couldn't hear anything else. I looked over at my teacher. I waited for him to jump up and say, "Nope, sorry, Mrs. Rice. I can't go away for the rest of the year because I promised to be here." I stood right in front of my students and said, "I will be your teacher this year. It's still this year, so I have to stay and be their teacher. I won't break my promise."